Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be revealing your flaws lowers attraction. Well, I've got an email here from a guy, college kid, learning the things that I teach, obviously. He had a gal that he dated for a while, and he met her like his first semester in school, and then after 3 years, he transferred to another college. Well, one night he got so fucking drunk, he basically blackout drunk, he said. But he did remember making out with a female friend of his. And so one of the things that this guy tends to be, he's a little too honest with the things that he does. I'm not saying that you need to be a liar, but sometimes you need to think about the things that you're going to say before you say them. And I talk about this in my book. Especially when it comes, and it doesn't matter whether you're a man or a woman. If you're on a date with somebody, especially it's the first couple of dates, and they're not in love with you yet, you got to think about when you are about to tell them something or share something with them. Is it going to make them smile, or is it and make you look more attractive and confident and appealing and more like a catch, or is it going to make you look like somebody who's less desirable or who doesn't have a high opinion of yourself? Is it going to cause them to have a low opinion of you? And if the answer is it's going to cause them to see you in a negative light, then you should shut up. There's a lot of crap you see in the media. Oh, you got to be honest. You got to talk about your feelings. Like, yeah, that's true, but not on the first couple of dates. You don't need to reveal all of your dark secrets or all the skeletons in your closet on your first date or two, because if you do, that's what the person's going to think about. I mean, it's really common sense when you think about it, but we're going to go through and analyze what this guy did with his girlfriend and what he continued to do once he ran into her again. Because it looks like he had a shot at getting her back when he saw her after all this shit happened, but he again started treating her more like a therapist than a lover. And it obviously turned her off because he literally pushed her into the arms of another guy. So I have a quote that I wrote, and then we're going to go through his email. And the quote says, "We all want and deserve the best for ourselves. When we are single and start dating someone new, we all tend to project our irrational fantasies onto our new love interest and see what we want. The only way we can judge and determine if a new lover is a suitable and healthy match for us is based upon their actions and what they tell us. The reality is, if you just started dating someone and you feel the need to reveal all of your flaws, insecurities, fears, doubts, and your history of bad relationships, this is going to turn them off and cause them to lose interest. It is wise to put your best foot forward, be positive, and focus on having fun together when you first start dating so they can fall in love with your best qualities. Otherwise, if you feel the need to confess all of your negative baggage and history, you're going to paint the picture that you are not a very desirable lover. Everyone has flaws. No one is perfect. But focusing on the negative is going to give someone who does not know you the impression that you are a mess, a loser, and not a good catch. This will lead to rejection. If it's not positive and going to make you look good and going to reflect your best side, keep it to yourself." So let's go through his email. He says, "Hey Coach, thanks first off for your work. I've read your ebook twice. I know, 10 times, not 10 times yet. It's good stuff, and I'd like to share with you how I have grown from some experiences and used what you teach. I'm just a college guy. My first semester I met a girl that was everything I ever wanted in someone. Beautiful, red hair. I love women with red hair. I've dated several, and man, I'll tell you what, they're some of the sexiest, passionate, crazy freaks in the fucking bedroom you can ever be with. Kind nature, naturally very feminine, nurturing, etc. So basically the opposite of me. I'm very much the masculine type in my relationships and in life. And I really realized after reading your stuff that the relationships that have gone my way in life have been the ones in which I was basically being the man. That is how this one started off and went for about 3 years. I was allowing her to do the pursuing, and then I would do the romancing basically. It was great. That's why it was so easy and effortless. What happened to the relationship was simple. I transferred to a new school, was blackout drunk one night, and ended up kissing a girl who I was friends with. I fucked up, but I decided I was going to be honest and own up to it, so I told my girlfriend about it. Well, in that particular case, if you fuck up like that, you should say, you know what, I'm not going to drink again. If you can't handle your fucking liquor, if you can't control yourself when you drink, then you shouldn't drink. She broke up with me afterwards, and it was really emotional and painful, and we didn't really see or have any contact for about 8 months. Ouch. Well, obviously she placed a high value on loyalty. I ended up going back to my original school for... I mean, think about it. If you've fucked some... say you have a guy that's a friend, and say he does MMA, and you fuck his hot wife when he's not around, and you're like, oh, I'm going to go be honest about it and go tell him, hey, dude, sorry, but I kind of fucked your wife, and he beats the shit out of you, was it really a good idea? Or is it just smart not to get fucked up and drink around his wife again? Think about it. And there's some times in life where it's just better, it's probably best if I keep this shit to myself. I ended up going back to my original school for a whole host of reasons. I was suffering from depression, I was failing, I was out of money, and my parents advised me to come back home and go to school. It was a good decision overall, since I know how much better I am now than I was a year ago. I started dating again, and once I got back to school, I went out with a few different girls, and interestingly enough, my ex-girlfriend started taking an interest in me. We ended up starting to chat a bit and ended up making out in a practice room for a couple of hours as we were both singers. Cool. So far, so good. We started seeing each other for a month, taking it slow, and she began to ask me a lot of questions about how different I seemed. So far, so good. Hang out, have fun, hook up. That's the formula. That's what I teach in my book, right? So what does he do next? I was just honest, obviously a little too honest, told her that I found out that I have depression, explained to her about how it's a chemical imbalance and how I was going to counseling, etc. Now think about that. Is that going to cause her to go, oh wow, that's really great news. Thanks for sharing that with me. That really makes you look more attractive in my eyes. Or does that make her go, maybe this guy is not so great after all. Maybe breaking up with him was a smart thing to do. Think about it. Oh, I just want to be honest. That's what I saw on TV. I got to talk about my feelings. This shit is what you save this for your therapist. It's not your girlfriend's job to fix you. It's really not her fucking problem. It isn't. It's your problem. It's your shit. And you need to be dealing with it like a man with your therapist, with professional doctors who are trained to help you with these things. Not your girlfriend, not your lover who you're trying to romance back into your life. That's like literally pulling your pants down and, dropping your ass above the punch bowl and just dropping one in there and going, hey baby, would you like to have a drink? There's a turd float in there, but it's my turd. I mean, seriously, think about it. Common sense, what does it tell you? How do you think she's going to view you now? What you just told her about your depression and the fact you're going to counseling, I don't know, maybe you're on medication or whatever. Or it's like, I've gotten emails from guys who are like, yeah, I told this girl I went on a date with that I'm bipolar and I'm a schizophrenic and she never answered my calls after that. Oh, I don't understand. I was just being honest. I was like, well, it's probably not a good idea to reveal that shit right away. Maybe when she's head over heels crazy in love with you, then you can talk about the way you used to be. It's not a good idea to reveal that shit, especially when you're trying to romance her back, especially after you hurt her by cheating on her, basically. She seemed to, for the first time, understand a lot, and things were really great once again. I know why I fucked up at the other school. It was certainly because I had low self-esteem, was looking for attention. Oh, I'm sure it had nothing to do with all the fucking alcohol in your body. And basically was not being the man she deserved and the man I know myself to be. So in other words, you're saying, oh, it's because I had depression that all this shit happened. So now she's going to think, okay, well, you cheated on me because you were depressed and you're still getting treatment. So if I take you back, you'll probably just get drunk and cheat on me again. You might think about it. Psychologically, when you destroy the trust, on some level, that other person is never going to trust you again. And for everybody that's watching this that's been cheated on, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When you have somebody that lies to you and deceives you and you catch them in that lie, you're never going to trust them again. He says, then things went south again. This time I didn't do any of it. So you think. She was having a lot of issues. Her family and friends were pressuring her to stay away from me. And guess what she did? She told all of her friends and family, oh, he's depressed, he's getting counseling, he's on medication. She probably told, and they're like, oh, well, why would you want to go out with a guy that's got all these problems? And he cheated on you already. He'll just do it to you again. Think about it, dude. You just gave all of her friends and family ammunition to blow you right out of her life. And they were pressuring her to stay away from me and date this other dude whom she rebounded with a bit over the summer. She shared a ton of stuff with me about all of this while we were getting back together. And like you teach, I would sit calmly, not pressure her or pursue, but just be there and be her rock. Naturally, we began to become very close once again, and then she just one day freaked out and started dating this rebound again a week later. Notice there's a really short period of time. You drop this bomb on her about all this depression, and you're thinking, hey, we're sailing along in a love boat. Soon we'll be making another run. And in the meantime, this shit's going on. She's thinking about all this, and her family's talking in her ear. Oh, he's got this, he's got that. If you'd have kept all that shit to yourself, and once 6 months down the road or a year down the road, and you're just matter of fact, oh yeah, I realized that I was suffering from depression. I went to counseling for it, and it really helped me out a lot. And that's one of the reasons why we're so awesome and things are so much better than they've ever been, baby. So hey, how about them Yankees? And you change the subject and talk about something else. But you probably made it in this big ordeal and confessed all your sins and all your flaws and your faults because you're just being honest. And that was a turd in a punch bowl, dude. I know you think it was great and you're being honest, but look what happened. Things were sailing along awesome until you revealed that to her. What's funny to me is she told me a week before they started dating again that he was trying really hard, pursuing a lot still, and that he was nice, but definitely never going to be a thing. Well, until you told her that you basically were a Fruit Loop, because that's what people are going to assume. Well, you got issues, you got problems, you're on medication, you're seeing a therapist, you're fucked up. And her family and friends, they're going to want the best for her. This guy already cheated on you, and you can imagine all the suffering that she went through, finding out that the love of her life of 3 years cheated on her. Like, well, that explains a lot. And plus, when you try to say, well, this all happened because I was depressed, think about it. If you were one of her friends or one of her family and heard that, what would you tell her? What would your advice have been? What would common sense tell you about that? It's not something positive. I know it's a difficult thing, and you shouldn't be ashamed about the fact that you had depression or whatever, but it's really none of her business. You're just kind of hanging out, having fun. I don't know if you were hooking up again or not, but that's not going to help your case when you're trying to get her back, especially when there's another dude in the picture. She's been very confusing, and before I would have pushed for answers and asked all kinds of needy questions. However, now I'm not, and it feels good to not just do that. The success part is that, although we are not back together, I am feeling much stronger, battling depression, learning and growing a lot, and now I see what I have. Whereas before, I would think down on myself, thinking I wasn't good enough, etc., and I've realized that she is in a relationship with a guy that is incredibly feminine, dresses in flamboyant clothes, is always following around everywhere, shows up to our concerts and stuff with huge bouquets of flowers for her, and even bottles of wine, drives her around everywhere on campus, and is also quite condescending to me when he sees me, calling me buddy in a really arrogant way. It's funny to me because I'm 5'8", and I'm a cut 165. I box a lot, and this guy is a bit shorter, quite ugly, and has such a fat belly that I'm not sure how he sees his cock when he pisses. That's pretty funny, dude. Yeah, he walks by me, he puffs his chest out and says, "Hey, buddy, real tough guy, I know. But it's like you teach. What you fear, you attract, and what you look at disappears. I was all afraid that I was failing, losing her to a better man, etc. But when I look at it, I'm in no way worse off. And now she's trying to get my interest again by dropping hints, making faces at me during class, etc. I'm not going to budge, though, because I think she has some growing up to do as well." Yeah, and at the end of the day, she has a boyfriend. She's no longer available, and she chose him over you. So, I mean, be playful, be fun when you see her, be indifferent. But if you see her cross campus, wave to her, but don't go over to her. Don't go out of your way to talk to her. Just go on with your life. The best thing you can do is start dating other women. But when you start dating other women, until they're head over heels crazy about you, that's when, and after you just had great, amazing sex, that's when you can tell them that you were suffering from depression. But that's something that you need to keep to only your closest friends and your family and your therapist. It's not going to be helpful for your dating life. I know it sucks, but that's the reality. I mean, you can see what happened. Things were sailing along great, and then you told her that, and then everything changed. And then you got her friends and her family working against you, and you just gave them ammunition to give her a ton of reasons why she should not be involved with you. He says, "I'm grateful to you for what you teach. I'm grateful now that I can look at situations in my life, not become overwhelmed, see them for what they are, and then make good decisions about them moving forward. The way I see it is that if she actually wants me and isn't trying to get me back on the leash for her own self-esteem, which I can't read because she hasn't actually said anything direct about us, she will get over herself, contact me outside of school stuff or work, and in which case I would just casually set up a nice quiet evening at my place with some wine, dinner, and hey-oh, if you know what I'm saying." Exactly. Hang out, have fun, and hook up. There's no it doesn't say hang out, talk about your depression, and then hook up. It doesn't work that way. It's hang out, have fun, hook up. Especially when you're trying to win somebody back that you cheated on. "If it never happens, well, I fucked up. I've learned from it, and I'm not going to make those mistakes again. I recently went out with a cute blonde, and I met a couple of other cute girls, so we'll see what happens." Good fucking job. That's what you should be doing. Because more than likely, there's a better girl out there. Especially with what you're learning, dude. You're young. Experience what's out there. Date some other women. I want to thank you once again. I hope you find this interesting, and it brings you some happiness to know that your work is helping to inspire others. If there was anything you think I could do better, I'd love more advice. Well, I gave you my honest feedback. Yes, I'm not here to blow sunshine up your ass. I'm just here to help you get the results you want. That's what a coach does. I'm not here to blow sunshine up your ass or coddle you or protect your feelings. I just tell you the way it is, dude. Next time around, don't be talking about your depression. Just keep that shit to yourself. It's really nobody's business. And the only appropriate time to share that's going to keep you together is when the other person is head over heels in love with you, because then it won't be a big deal, because they'll have googly eyes for you and they'll be crazy about you and they'll want to love you even more because of it. But when somebody already has reason to not be trusting, and especially like when you first start dating a girl and she's trying to determine whether or not you're a good catch, that's a bomb. It's a turd in a punch bowl, man. You just simply do not share that with somebody unless they're crazy head over heels in love with you. That's the reality. I wish it was different, but hey, do you want to be successful? Do you want to get the girl? Or do you want to get rejected? It's your choice. So if you'd like to get my help personally, the quickest way is to book a paid phone, Skype, or email coaching session. You can choose any of those options by going to my website, clicking the products tab at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions for booking whichever option works best for you. And I will talk to you soon.